Here are the 9 books that I would like to read in November. I kind of have a little bit of an idea of where I want to take my month of November. This is the perfect month to kind of wrap up all of my spooky reads. I'm excited to read some romances this month. I'm excited to read some paranormal romances this month. I'm excited to just kind of continue this reading journey. But I am going to pick out the books that I've been kind of thinking about recently. Like I said, I had an amazing reading month in October. I definitely want to continue that into November. So these are the books that I've been gravitating towards that I currently have. I know inevitably I will buy more books. This stack of books is very all over the place. I think overall what this TBR is sort of showing me is that I want a little bit of everything. First book, The Heart Principle. This is by Helen Huang. This deals with a violinist. Her name is Anna Sun, and her long-term boyfriend has the idea that he wants to be in an open relationship, and she's like, what? I don't think I want to do that. And then she's like, wait, I think I do. And she ends up going on a couple dates with this guy, and it turns into something more. That's all I know about it so far. But I do know that this author is a local author to me. This has been sitting on my bookshelf for a couple weeks now, a couple months now, and I think that it is time for me to pick it up. The next book on a completely different spectrum is Survive the Night by Riley Sager. This was on my October TBR, but I did not get to it. This book takes place in November, so I think it would be a nice way to kind of spruce up the month of November. There is a killer on the loose. It's set in the 90s. There's a serial killer on the loose, and this girl, she ends up hitching a ride with someone. I guess we're trying to figure out the whole time whether or not the person that she hitched the ride with is the serial killer or not, which it sounds like it would be. But yeah, this is Survive the Night by Riley Sager. Next is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I feel like I'm very excited about, especially because I just read The Dead Romantics. The Dead Romantics was a book about a ghostwriter. I heard really great things about this book. A friend of mine gave this 5 stars. I also had just bought the book like maybe 5 days before she had rated it 5 stars on Goodreads. So I was like, okay, there's something in the stars telling me that I need to read this book. I have a feeling that I'm going to love this book, but I definitely think that November is the time for a book like this. The next book is The Atlas 6. I would definitely like to read a dark academia book this month, and I think I'm gravitating toward Atlas 6. I want to read We Are Villains. We Are Not Villains. We Were Villains. That book. I've heard that it is a better version of the Atlas 6, so before I read that book, I think I should read the Atlas 6. I read Ninth House in September, so I absolutely love that book. It was dark academia. It was a little bit of speculative fiction, magical realism. In that same lens, I want to pick up Truly Devious. Now I've had this book for over a year, and I did get 116 pages into this book. I was liking it, it was picking up, and then I just kind of got out of reading for a second. I'm not sure whether or not I'm gonna have to reread the first 100 pages. I mean, I do remember a little bit of kind of what's been going on thus far in the book. This is a thicker book, how it sounds, just over 400 pages. But I saw Haley Pham reading this in her recent video about Instagram chooses the books that she reads, and she liked it. She said that it picked up toward the 250 page mark, which is more so that much through the book. So I feel like picking this back up again wouldn't be a bad idea. The next book is Before We Were Strangers. It says it's a love-hate love story. I picked this up because I read the premise of it, I read the synopsis, and it sounded intriguing. I don't really know much about this book. I'm going into it very, very blindly, but I am gravitating towards it, and I feel like there's this compulsion in my heart that's telling me that I need to read this. And so I needed to make sure that I put this on my November TBR. Alrighty, so we are down to the last 3 books of the TBR. The Picture of Dorian Gray. This is by Oscar Wilde. This book has been getting a lot of heat on TikTok. Literary fiction. I was a literature major. for a couple years, and the books that I read in that time were very captivating. They were life-changing. There's a reason why people study those books. It's because they have an underlying message, and that's the whole point of literature, is that it claims that it has an underlying message past just rudimentary fiction. I am interested to see what this book is about. Again, I'm going into this book very blindly. I did pick it up because of the hype surrounding it right now. My dad always encouraged me to read the classics. Only 200 pages or so, 220 pages, so it will be a relatively quick read. It is an artist who is painting a picture of a very wealthy man, and during the session I think we learned about Dorian Gray. Next is Twisted Love by Anna Huang. This book has been getting a lot of traction. I just watched the other day, what's her name, Alexa Ray. She posted a video about the entire Twisted Love, Twisted series. This book is beautiful. It's a beautiful cover, beautiful color. And I wasn't expecting what the premise was whenever I finally read the back. This book, just like the Addicted Calloway series, has been getting a lot of hype. I want to know what my opinion of these books would be. So that is that, Twisted Love by Anna Huang. The book that I'm absolutely most excited about to read this month is The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. This is by Michelle Hodkin. This book, oh my goodness, this book. This is a trilogy. Mara Dyer is a pseudonym for whoever the girl of this book is, whoever her real name is. This is about a girl who, well, basically in the first 5 chapters, we've already learned that she is the only survivor of a collapsed building that her and her friends were in. All of them died except for her, and she doesn't know why. She doesn't remember what happened, and she basically is trying to figure out what is going on, why she's the only survivor, and why she was in that building that day. I did buy the whole series, and I'm so excited to read it again. Whenever I was younger, this book came out like maybe 2013, let's see, 2011. So this book came out whenever I was in middle school. I didn't get to fully read the entire series because I had been waiting for it to come out on paperback, and then whenever it finally came all out on paperback, I was a lot older. This stack of books will be kind of my guideline for where I'm going in terms of what books I choose to read next month. And again, I absolutely know that inevitably I will be buying books. Here are the 9 books that I would like to read in November. I am glad that you sat with me and watched me share those with you. Those are all the books that I would like to read from my current physical TBR in November. I love this little setup. I'm so happy that I built this little bookshelf. It's so stinking cute. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you for joining me along in this November TBR video. I plan to do a ton of more book content on this channel, and also sharing with you guys how I'm revamping my room, because I want to just be able to have a space where I feel comfortable enough to come home and just do everything. Being able to be comfortable in that space is very, very, very important to me. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time today, and I will see you guys in my next book